Hey there, Jared from CigarAdvisor.com, and this month's fan mail question comes from Nick in Reading, Pennsylvania, who asked, can you explain what sun-grown tobacco is? Aren't all plants grown in the sun? Now, Nick, I love this question because it lets me get a little nerdy into tobacco cultivation, which I love to do. So, technically, Nick, yes, all tobacco is grown in the sun, but some tobacco is grown in the shade. Farmers will use cheesecloth tents or even canvas depending on how little light they want to get through to the tobacco plants. Now, if you've ever heard someone call tobacco shade grown, like Connecticut shade for instance, this is what they're talking about. But aside from cheesecloth and canvas, the shade could be provided by a greenhouse or a tree, and in some instances even clouds themselves, like in Ecuador. Ecuador is known for having a consistent cloud cover during growing season, and this is why Connecticut seed tobacco varietals are so close in flavor when they're grown there. But all of this really begs Nick's original question, doesn't it? What is sun-grown tobacco? And a question that should probably follow is, why would you grow tobacco in the shade in the first place? Now, talking about sun-grown tobaccos, they are the industry term for plants that are grown in full sunlight. Most filler tobaccos are grown this way, and some binders and even wrappers too, but there is a caveat to growing tobacco in direct sunlight. Think about us. We spend too much time in the sun, our skin reacts, and we're left with a painful burn. Plants have reactions to prolonged sunlight exposure too, and in tobacco's case, it produces a darker, oilier, thicker leaf that's fuller in flavor. Part of that reaction is an increase of sugar, but it's also less flexible and it's harder to use as wrapper. Now, tobaccos grown in shade, however, are lighter in color, they're more flexible, and they're thinner, making them fantastic candidates for cigar wrappers. They're also mellower in flavor and exhibit less body and strength. Now, wrapper leaves can be both sun and shade-grown tobaccos, but there are more challenges when it comes to sun-grown, and it's why it's not as commonly used for wrappers as shade-grown tobacco is. One last thing, we commonly call Connecticut tobaccos Connecticut shade, but shade tobacco is really just anything grown in either natural or artificial shade. So Nick and everyone else watching, I hope this answered your question. For more free cigar tips and tricks, subscribe to us here on YouTube, CigarAdvisor.com, and of course, all of our social media channels. And I'll see you all in the next video.